it's me again, Nancy. As I fully expected, you absolutely wowed us with all of the representations of Amazon biodiversity that you were able to show us. You went above and beyond the 3-organism limit, and every single thing that you showed us was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for that nice, short Amazonian field trip. Definitely earned yourself another 5 stars.
Turf Wars, a battle of wits, knowledge, and creativity. Which naturalist will prove they're the best? Choose your fighter and watch the action unfold on Turf Wars!
Okay, so you challenged me to look for animal sign, and I was pretty inspired by the animal tracks in the mud that you showed us you found in the Amazon. It is super muddy around here right now because all of the snow just melted, and in a few days it'll start raining because it's spring now, finally. So I think I'll start by looking for some animal tracks in the mud. The trail I'm on is awfully muddy, so you can see there's a lot of footprints, lots of people prints and dog footprints and even some horse footprints, but there are also some wild animal footprints that I just saw, and it would be difficult to pick them out if I wasn't looking for them in amongst all of the domestic footprints, as it were. But look at that. It's a kind of small footprint versus, my fingers. And there's one, and then there's another. They're kind of small, but they've got 5 toes and they're all spread out real wide. So I'm pretty sure that these are raccoon footprints. Okay, so I decided to walk down to the edge of this body of water because, bodies of water are a great place to find animal sign because animals need to drink water. So I came down here, and first I see this pile of fecal material, which is interesting because the round pellets are poop from white-tailed deer, and then this other stuff looks like poop from some sort of canid, like a coyote probably. There are lots of coyotes around here. But right next to the poop, you see this very long, sort of coarse white hair in clumps. And I sort of see all of these clumps of coarse white hair, and there's a lot of them. What's going on? There's a lot of fur here. So it looks like maybe a white-tailed deer was attacked or something, because then I also start seeing bone chips. Sorry for the airplane going overhead, that happens here. So there's bone chips, and I'm seeing more bone chips. There's one there. And then I sort of come over here, and this looks like part of a skull. Yeah, because that's awesome. Those are the molars of a white-tailed deer. See how they're super weird and kind of flat? Because they're herbivores and they need those nice big flat molars for grinding plant material. And then I look over in the water and there's the bottom jaw, or at least one half of the bottom jaw just hanging out in the water. And deer jaws are kind of cool because there's all these molars right on the back of the jaw, and then there's this big gap, and then there's a little incisors in the front. So that big gap is interesting. It's there because animals like these don't need canine teeth, or the sharp pointy ones that we have and that other carnivores have for ripping up meat. So they just have incisors for scraping up and biting off plant material, and then they have molars for grinding up plant material. And I just realized here's the other half of the lower jaw right here. So there are a whole bunch of pieces of deer here, but I don't see all of it, which probably does mean that it was killed by a coyote, or at least that the deer that died here was dragged off by a coyote, because most of the pieces aren't here anymore. But that's an amazing sign of not just an animal or even of 2 animals, but of 2 animals interacting. It's an unfortunate fact of urban green spaces that we often find evidence of animal humans in the forest preserves as well. So the next time I visit here, I guess I'll have to bring some rubber gloves and a garbage bag and clean up all of this evidence of human animals that maybe doesn't really belong here. Well, I found some pretty cool signs of animals in the woods today. I hope you liked them. I'd also like to take a moment to showcase a few of our audience members who have been participating in the challenges. Thanks, guys! Great job, everybody. Thank you so much for playing along at home. So my challenge back for all of you, and Nancy, of course, is based on some of the things I've been experiencing while I'm out here today. It's mid-March, which means it's just the beginning of spring here in Chicagoland. I don't know if I will be able to pick them up on a recording because they're so quiet yet and so infrequent, but I can already hear some spring frogs starting to sing. That's the males singing to attract females so that they can mate and lay eggs, and then soon there will be tadpoles in all of the little ponds and the ephemeral ponds around here. And speaking of ephemeral, I'm also on the lookout for spring ephemeral wildflowers, which are basically wildflowers that grow their leaves and then even their blooms right now before the trees have leaves on them. See how much sun there is hitting the forest floor behind me? That is a great opportunity for all of these very tiny plants to get in a lot of their photosynthesizing and also their blooming and pollination before all of the sun disappears when the trees leaf out and all of this area becomes shaded. Here are the leaves of one such spring ephemeral wildflower. These are growing all over the forest floor today, just starting to poke out between the leaves, become a little obvious and start doing their photosynthesizing thing. So these are the leaves of common cinquefoil. You can tell why it's got the name cinquefoil because there are 5 little leaflets on the leaves poking up out of the dead tree leaves. So in a few weeks, these will be sticking much more obviously up out of the dead leaf litter, and they'll have little yellow flowers on them. But they're busy taking advantage of all of the open sunlight during the first warm temperatures of spring before all of the trees leaf out and shade the entire forest floor. So that's my challenge for you, Nancy, and for everybody else playing along at home. I'd like you to find at least one example of an animal or a plant with specialized phenology that is dependent on a particular season of the year. Don't forget that you can tag us on social media if you're playing along, or post in the Sci-Hi Facebook group if you're playing along. I'd love to see all of your completions of the challenges we're doing for Turf Wars. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you in the next Turf Wars video.